Welcome back everyone, and in this video, we are going to discuss the tips and strategies that Jim Cramer has laid out for how to invest in 2021. He shared with us 10 different investment themes that he expects to grow over this year. So I am personally a big fan of Jim Cramer. I find him entertaining, and we share similar opinions about specific companies and the overall stock market. And what we're going to do in this video is break down the 10 different investment themes that he has laid out for 2021 and beyond, and go over 2 to 3 companies from each trend that he expects to accelerate over this year. But before we jump in to the first investable trend of 2021 and beyond, I'm going to ask you to please hit that like button and subscribe. I am the Gen Z Investor. Every single day we talk about the stock market, going over different stocks you can buy and sell, and discussing any major market news or headlines. And of course, in today's video, we're going to go over the stocks and the trends that Jim Cramer believes are expected to grow in 2021 and beyond. And the first trend that we're going to take a look at today is e-commerce. So as a whole, in 2020, the e-commerce industry absolutely exploded. Because of the pandemic and in-person retail stores were shut down, the fast-growing retail industry already was accelerated and expedited by around an estimated 5 years. 2020 accelerated the growth of the e-commerce sector by a 5-year timeline, and the growth of this industry is not expected to slow down anytime soon, especially in 2021 when we are still very early on in the vaccine rollout, cases continue to rise, and online shopping is still in great demand. Over the latest quarter, we saw 30% year-over-year growth in US digital sales, and that trend is not expected to slow down anytime over the next 12 months. And Jim Cramer laid out some of the top companies in the e-commerce space that he expects to benefit very nicely in 2021. And some of the companies he listed, for example, are Amazon, which is the largest e-commerce platform in the world, so a very easy company, and this stock has actually been trading sideways over the past few months, so maybe at a nice entry point to get in right now. The second company he listed was, of course, Shopify, which has seen a tremendous growth over the past year, and this is a platform that allows small and medium-sized businesses to create their very own online digital store to sell their products and services. And finally, the third e-commerce giant he likes right now is Walmart. He believes that Walmart's e-commerce platform is very strong, and as a whole, with the new Walmart Plus subscription model, he thinks it can be a real competitor to Amazon across the United States. So those are the 3 major e-commerce stocks that are expected to continue to accelerate in 2020, and that is the first investable theme that Jim Cramer likes to see growth rates over this year and down the road. And a very important point I want to make very clear before we move on to the second investment trend is that Walmart, Shopify, and Amazon are not the only companies expected to benefit from the growth of e-commerce. Those are just the 3 companies that Jim Cramer laid out in his recommendations. So they are definitely worth doing some research into, but there are many more e-commerce players in the space that may see projected growth rates over 2021 and beyond. There are other major players like Etsy and eBay that may do very well and are definitely worth doing your own research into. In this video, we're just doing a top line analysis of the overall theme as a whole, and the fact that these 3 companies that we're going to list are just to give you some ideas of brands to look into. Don't feel limited by the companies that Jim Cramer likes. There are still other players in the e-commerce space, and all of the 10 trends we're going to go over that can produce great returns in 2021 and for many years down the road. And now the second investable theme that we're going to take a look at today is 5G. So as a whole, 5G has been one of the fastest growing sectors of the market over the past few years, and it's seeing some massive connections as of late. And if we take a look right now, the number of 5G connections has reached 229 million people, which is a 4 times faster speed of adoption compared to the previous version of 4G LTE. And it just shows that this continued expansion makes it the fastest growing mobile technology in history, and that's going on through a global pandemic. So everything that's going on in the world and all the challenges we're facing in this industry, there's still positivity, and now have close to 230 million connections in just under 1 year, which is absolutely incredible. And a lot of major tech firms are adopting and transitioning to a 5G network over the next 12 months. And Cramer lays out 3 major players in this industry, which is Qualcomm. The company has grown 72% this year, and this is actually one of the major players I have on my personal watch list as well, and may start a position into this company very soon. And two other major players in the 5G space are Marvell Technology Group, ticker MRVL, and Skyworks Solutions, which is up 26% this year. So another fast-growing industry that Cramer believes is only going to accelerate in 2021 and beyond. And now moving over to the third investable trend of this video, we of course have cybersecurity. And as we transition into a more digitally based society, everything we do is happening online, and the need for strong cybersecurity is only growing year over year. And it is expected that cybersecurity spending is set to increase by 20% in 2021. And some of the largest cybersecurity firms expected to grow rapidly this year that Jim Cramer has laid out are CrowdStrike Holdings, we have Okta, and the third one is Palo Alto Networks. So definitely three cybersecurity firms worth taking a look at and doing some research into for 2021. And now jumping over to the fourth investable theme of this year, we have digitization. And like we've seen with some similar trends in cybersecurity, the more things we do online, the faster information technology we're going to need to power that online and digital presence. And Jim Cramer has laid out two semiconductor companies that he believes are going to see some acceleration over this year. And for digitization and semiconductors, that market grew over 11% year over the latest quarter and still is expected to be very strong down the road. And the two companies Jim Cramer laid out were Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD, which has more than doubled this year. And we have the company Nvidia, which is absolutely on fire and was one of the fastest growing companies on the market over the past 12 months, growing by 120%. Although these companies are all on massive run-ups, Cramer still sees some upside and likes these companies for many years down the road. And the fifth trend that we're going to take a look at today that may be a nice investment this year is travel and leisure. So of course, this is definitely a riskier sector to invest in right now. We still do not have a full vaccine rollout, and although vaccine is starting to get distributed, case numbers are still going up and international travel is still shut down. But as a whole, this industry may see a nice recovery once we can go back to normal. And the history of the travel sector was actually very strong. It was growing at a significant rate year over year from 2016 to 2019, but then of course we all know what happened in 2020 where it saw a massive decline. But analysts are expecting cooped up demand to actually accelerate this industry very fast forward between 2021 and 2024. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with regarding to the vaccine and the pandemic, and if it does get rolled out very successfully, travel stocks may see a nice rebound and some strong future growth. And two companies that definitely take a look at for a rebound are Boeing, ticker BA, and Airbnb, which is a new freshly IPO'd company that does trade at a very high valuation for its current market financials, but is expected to see some rapid demand once travel is allowed on the international and European continents. So those were the first 5 investable trends to take a look at in 2021, which were e-commerce, travel and leisure, digitization, cybersecurity, and 5G. So these are all themes or trends, whatever you want to call them, that are expected to accelerate down the road. And we're going to go over 5 more that Cramer likes for this year and beyond. And coming in at number 6, we have the stimulus stocks. So these are the companies that are going to benefit once consumers get their hands on their stimulus checks. Whether it be $600 or $2,000 or any number in between, these are the companies that are going to benefit when consumers have more discretionary income. And the companies that Cramer lays out are Target, one of the largest US retailers. We also have Home Depot. And the third company to take a look at is Dollar Tree. So there's just some companies in the retailers that may benefit once consumers have a little bit extra discretionary income to go out and spend. Number 7 trend is actually China. So starting 2021, we have a new president. And this new president, Biden, is expected to be easier on China than the previous administration. And what that means is that we expect the Chinese government to be a little bit more friendly with the United States, and Cramer is hopeful that these companies are going to benefit from this new better agreement and better relationship that we're expected to have with China. And some companies that may see some nice benefit are Caterpillar. Cramer believes that this company can sell some more units to the Chinese government. Companies like 3M and even visa if their services are approved all across the communist country. So as a whole, this is another industry that is expected to benefit if we have some better relationship with this country because of the new president administration. And now the 8 investable theme we're going to take a look at today are the individual stock selection and wealth management companies. So as a whole, the stock market has become very popular in 2020, and that investor presentation and that need for investor platforms is only growing each and every year. So some of the main players in the investment space are seeing some rapid benefit. And companies like Goldman Sachs, who were really once reserved only for the wealthy, are now offering their wealth management services to the masses. And now every individual can really work with Goldman Sachs, and they're really expanding their global market share. And if we take a look at 2 companies that Cramer lays out, he has, of course, Goldman Sachs, ticker GS, and he also has Morgan Stanley, which have both seen some beautiful growth over the past 12 months. And he also likes Robinhood, the free investing platform that has taken over the market. It's not a publicly traded company just yet, but once it hits the public market, he does like that business and did have it included on his list of companies for this theme. If we now move on to theme number 9, we have remote work. So regardless of what happens with regard to the vaccine and the pandemic, remote work is here to stay. It's more affordable for individuals and businesses as a whole, and permanent work is expected to double in 2021. So remote workers are going to be here to stay, and some platforms that help serve and help make remote work possible are expected to benefit very heavily over the next year. So companies like Zoom Video, this stock is down close to 30% over the past year, but is still expected to benefit very well and see a nice rebound throughout the next 12 months. And other companies like Salesforce, who just acquired Slack in a major acquisition, and of course Microsoft, who has their Microsoft Cloud and Microsoft Teams platform, which are growing and really compatible to a lot of major companies in the remote work space. So as a whole, remote work is here to stay. People are going to be staying at home to work, and that rate is going to double over 2021. And finally, we made it to number 10. The 10 investable theme for 2021 is healthcare. So no matter what's going on in the world, the healthcare sector is going to need and have seen growing demand. The baby boomers are getting old, the need for different prescriptions and pharmaceuticals are only increasing year over year, and as a whole, the managed healthcare sector has seen tremendous growth rates. So 3 main players in that industry that he likes are Johnson & Johnson, of course, one of the largest companies in the world and the leader in the healthcare space. We also have United Health Group, and we actually have CVS to round out the healthcare sector. So those were the 10 different investable themes to take a look at for 2021. This was more of a list type video. We didn't go in depth on any of these companies, and like I want to clarify once again, do not feel restricted by any of the brands that we mentioned in this video. This video was just made to go over all the different themes and the trends as a whole that were expected to grow this year. Of course, there's many more than the 2 or 3 names that we quickly listed. For example, in e-commerce, there's many more than just Amazon, Shopify, and Walmart. In cybersecurity, in 5G, in digitization, there's so many more that it could see some massive growth over 2021. I just want to share with you the overall themes and trends that Jim Cramer laid out that he believes are going to see some massive growth over this next year. So definitely take the time, look at some of the companies we have listed today, but also do your own research into all 10 of these brands and what companies you believe may see some nice outlook over the next few months. And if we take a look now at the actual article from CNBC that goes over all the different companies, I'm just going to scroll through all of the names that Jim Cramer laid out in all 10 of the themes that we went through today. So I give you 2 or 3 from each, but of course, definitely check out this article if you want to go over all the different names that he has listed down below for all the different companies and stocks within each growing trend. So as a whole, Jim Cramer, I believe, is a great analyst. Of course, he's not right about everything. No one ever is, but I like his personality. I like how he's always out there sharing his true opinion about the market. And I do like how he conducts himself on TV as that crazy, make the stock market interesting type of guy. So thank you for watching. I am the Gen Z Investor, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.